Dear doctors and students, welcome. I'm Dr. Deepu Sabin from Daily Rounds. I'm excited to announce the launch of a NEET-focused training platform from Daily Rounds, the Marrow. Today I have some very special guests with me. I have with me Dr. Shabnam, who scored the first rank in the recent NEET PG exam.
I have Dr. Manuraj, he scored the second rank, and I have Dr. Alina, who has scored the third rank. Welcome guys, and congratulations.
And thanks a lot for helping us prepare this NEET focus platform. I'm going to straight away head into a set of Q&As. The idea here is to come up with a clear action plan and strategy on how to prepare for the NEET exam, especially with the new pattern. So I have a set of questions for you guys, and so I'll start with Shabnam anyway. So Shabnam, my question is that what are your top strategies? Top, if you can number some top strategies which has helped you score rank 1 over 2.
Okay, getting a good PG seat, it really requires hard work, because the number of, comparing to the number of MPPS seats and the PG seats, it's very less. The ratio is very high actually. Means that number of PG seats, it's very high comparing to the PG seats. So a definite strategy is required. First, the most important is the hard work. How much hard work you put. Then it should be, you have a good timetable, it should be time bound. Then you should have a proper guidance. It is very much required, because it's not reading all the topics, because we have 19 subjects, so it's a selective reading, because the questions repeatedly come from the same topic. It's not the repetitive questions, but from the same topic they ask in a different way. So a proper guidance is very much required. Then revision, because one time reading you can't memorize everything. So the important points need to be revised again and again. Then positive thinking, that's also very much important. Do your best and remove the stress. That's it.
Thank you. So I think hard work is definitely the thing. There is no shortcut for that. So the same question to Manu, what would be your top suggestions to prepare for the NEET exam?
The first thing I do is that you should be mentally prepared before starting a PG preparation, because it's a very tough thing. You will feel irritated, frustrated, and you will feel depressed, because you may read many things and you will easily forget everything. So it's a normal part. It's a part of a PG preparation. So don't worry about it. Go forward. The second thing is hard work. As everyone said, hard work is the most important thing. Hard work means dedicated work. It's better to involve only in studies, not involving some GPs and whole thing. It's better to focus on study only during that preparation time. The third thing is you should have a timetable. You should have a plan. You should plan according to so that you can revise at least 2 times. First, you have to go through the theory part. Almost all guide has some theory part before MCQ. You have to be thorough with that. Read that theory part, develop some concept. You should know some basic facts about every topics. First cover this theory part, then do MCQ during the revision time.
Thank you. Alina, what would be your take?
So my few suggestions for preparing for NEET PG would be: 1. First you have to get an idea about what is in front of you. That is the topics, the extent to which you need to cover, and the time that you have at your disposal. So with these 2 things in mind, you can come up with a plan. That is how to go about. Okay, you have these many topics and you have to cover in this much time that you have. Secondly, you should remember that just by learning everything, without revision, you're not going to reproduce it during the exam time. So keep in mind, revision is really important. So in your plan, in your timetable, make a point that revision holds a special place. Then third, do work hard, give in your best, and believe in yourself that you can score well. So these would be some few suggestions from my part.
Shabnam, I have this question. What are the key mistakes you made? I think you might not have made much mistakes for obvious reasons, but what are the key mistakes you have seen other people make while preparing for the exam?
One thing is that some people give undue importance to certain subjects. They miss certain subjects. They think only few questions will be coming from certain subjects, and they don't read that subject. Though there is allocation of this much questions from a particular subject, but it's not always followed, especially in AIMS, JIPMER. NEET almost it is followed. So you should not skip any subject. All the subject has to be covered properly. Then reading textbook. Reading standard textbook, it is so much of time consuming and it is of no much importance. The guidebooks, most of the guidebooks contain the materials from the standard textbook. So very few parts we have to read, but not all the topics we need to refer from the standard textbook like Harrison and all. So that is one of the mistakes some people spend lot of time reading these textbooks. Then also during the exam time, you have to be cool during the exam time. If we are stressed out, we will have thought block. Even things we have learned, we won't be working it out.
Thank you. And what would be?
So as she has mentioned, I feel that first of all we have to find out the top yielding, high yielding topics and concentrate them more. Like rather than giving importance to like subject, you have to find out the topics, because based on the topics you go back to MCQs or guidebooks, then you get an idea the pattern of the question that is being followed. And with that knowledge in mind, you can go back to theory, but not in depth because you have lot to cover, vast topic. So go accordingly to the questions, refer to the important things, so that if at all a new question is asked, you can just, based on your knowledge that you have acquired during the preparation days, you can attempt it. So you have to balance both questions, answering questions, because that is a talent that is tested in these MCQ based questions. And also you should have some background theory, so that if at all some modification is there, or if at all some slight change is there, or if at all a confusing question is there, using the knowledge that you have, you can answer them. Then you have to be stress free on the exam day, which is actually practically not possible, but try to stay as calm as possible and have a good night's sleep on the previous day. Don't sit like late till 1, 2 or so. It won't help you much.
From entrance point of view, you need to know about basic concepts about each topic. Instead of fact, you need to know the concept. So you have to know about 10 points about each topic. What people do is they learn some random facts and go to exam, but they don't remember such things. So you have to know some concept about each topic. And the second thing is, if there are 19 subjects, you have to read all the 19 subjects. You can't omit some short subjects, because they are the tiebreaker. Surgery, medicine, everyone will read, but radiotherapy, skin, these are the game changer. So you have to concentrate on that also.
Okay. So my next question is about revision. So how important is revision? And I'll start with Alina. So how important is revision, and how did you do it?
Well, I feel revision is the keystone to success, because the topic that you have to cover during PG preparation is vast. Vast means it's immense. So if you keep on reading and for some few weeks, few days, few weeks, you feel that you still haven't. By the end of month, you start forgetting whatever you have learned, because most of the topics that you learn are totally volatile. So you have to keep revising it so that you retain it. So basically I feel one should plan revision in a way that whatever you have captured as capsules will stay in your head. For me, I couldn't come up with a proper revision strategy because I had prepared it during my house urgency. I didn't get the proper time to actually read the subjects, but with whatever time I got, I tried to balance that. I learned new stuffs at the same time I kept on revising it. But I'm really unfortunate that I couldn't come up with a proper revision strategy. But I think preferably at least for the last 1 month before exam, you should really keep revising what you have learned, or else it will be a total waste.
Thank you. Manu, your take on revision?
In my case, I have some 9 months for preparation. What I did was, I planned first, so that the first 5 months I will read whatever I could, not in depth, but just peripherally I read everything. After 5 months, when I look back, I have forgotten everything. What I did is, for the next 2 months, I again read what I have read previously. The next 2 months, your second revision. That you will remember much more things. But the third revision is the most important thing. You have to go very fast, covering almost all subjects, and you have to look up some MCQ also. During first 5 months, better not to do many MCQ. You have to go with theory more. But second revision, you have to increase number of MCQ, and for the final revision, you have to do more MCQ and less theory. That's the main plan.
Great. Shabnam?
Revision is really important. I got a duration of 10 months. So my first cycle, it was almost 8 months I required to complete all my subjects. Then from October, I started my revision. I revised all the subjects thrice. My first revision, it took a bit longer, but second and third revision, it was faster. Even you have to plan the revision. Not everything you have to revise again and again. Some points which are difficult to recollect, that you have to note down and mark it up. And even the previous day of the exam, you have to go through those topics which is difficult to recollect, the most high yielding points. That is very important, because continuously reading one subject or revising one subject the day before, it's not going to help. You have to cover up all the important points from all the subjects day before the exam. So revision is very important.
Thank you. So my next question is that do you guys make notes? Ali, you can actually answer. Do you make notes?
Okay. No, I didn't make much notes. Actually, I joined one of the institutes, so they provided me with the class notes. So I added few points to those class notes, and initially I studied those notes, then did my MCQ. So first, to create a theory-based knowledge, that is important. Then I started working on MCQs. Along with that, the test series I did. And later on, in the revision part, it was more of reading those notes, repeatedly reading the notes and attempting few MCQs.
I'll take another question to you, Alina. Did you take mock tests? Do you think they are important?
Yes, I have taken many mock tests whenever I got time. It's like I feel that competition makes one sharper and stronger. So when you attend these tests, you get to know your weak points. You get to know where you stand. You get to know where you stand among the other competitors. So in that way, you can rectify your flaws. You can find out in which subjects you've made more mistakes or which topics you need to concentrate more, read more. And I think that will give an overall assessment or evaluation of your performance so far. So I feel very important.
Alright, so I'm going to get into a bit more of detail into some of the points you put across. And the first point all of you guys have mentioned is that hard work. Well, how do you quantify hard work? Like, hard work can be anything, right? So, is the number of hours, or like, how do you quantify hard work?
For me, it is number of hours I consider how many hours I study.
Okay.
So for me, I put a target of minimum 12 hours.
Okay.
Then if I could extend beyond that, I will do it. Because not all days are good for you. Some days you could do your best. Some, it could be limited to within 12 hours itself we get tired.
Okay.
So that time I limit the hours, otherwise I will go beyond 12.
Okay. So 12 hours includes lunchtime or excluding?
No, excluding lunchtime.
Okay. So it's like hardcore 12 hours excluding everything else. Yes. You should be studying.
Yes.
Right. You guys agree to that 12-hour timeline or more than that, less than that?
No, I don't think we can quantify time like this much hour we have to study. We have to be, according to me, hard work is a focused effort. In a day, how much you can put your dedicated effort. And
okay, that's good. We'll go with that. So, Alina, what do you
I
think?
feel hard work, it depends on person to person, varies from person to person. It depends a lot on how much base you have to start with. Like if you have good base from UG days, that person need to just build up. And more than the total hours you put in, I believe in how effectively you use the time. You can sit for 10 hours continuously, but maybe you effectively use only 6 hours. But especially for those who are preparing during their house urgency, that is internship, how effective they can use the time that they get. Like they don't get much time, like maybe in a day 2 or 3 hours, but if they can utilize it effectively, then I think they have a fair chance of getting through.
So can we say 12 hours is the minimum? I mean, so there are two versions, right? The first is that if you are actually having the luxury of a big chunk of time, a full-time preparation, no doubt you actually have to put that time into good results. And as Manu mentioned, you can't get distracted and do other things as well. That's for sure. And if I take Shabnam's standpoint, you need 12 hours, which I think is fair, right? If you're not doing anything, 12 hours is minimum.
Means we should not waste time.
We should not waste time.
Yeah, that's the minimum time. We should not.
Maybe in the
simply-
kind of exhaustion.
So maybe you have much higher control over yourself that you know. But for me, I cannot. I can just study 1 hour and be really happy about it and I will feel content.
But actually when you get into learning, you can't really keep a track of time.
Okay.
Basically,
Okay.
you can only keep a track of how much you've covered.
You have to cover anatomy in 2 weeks. You can just simply sit and read 1 or 2 topics and relax.
No, this is very interesting because I think, see, there are sort of people who are just very focused and you don't need anything to track. You just need your independent goal of completing anatomy in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And for lesser mortal like me, I would need a time. So I find that fair to say is that if you're looking at the time and if you're giving it full time, minimum 12 hours, 12 to 14 hours, as you mentioned, how much you can actually push over that. But if you are a self-motivated person who can actually have your own independent short-term goals, then that goal should guide you, and obviously it should. So I think that's a very fair point. And Shabnam, what is your typical day like? I mean, you are here, rewind, and it's 6 months back, and you are gonna study. What do you do actually?
I'm a more of a night person.
So when do you wake up?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock in the morning. Wow. Okay. Yeah, but you have to say when you sleep.
Okay, it will go beyond 2 o'clock
Beyond 2 o'clock. Good point. Okay.
when I feel sleepy.
Okay.
But sleep is very important. Minimum 8 hours of sleep
Okay.
because it's
8 hours of sleep.
minimum 8 hours of
Okay.
sleep.
Let's
That is
don't
very-
take only the positive points. So people can say 10 a.m. 8 hours of sleep, but you should get the complete picture.
Yes, minimum 8 hours of sleep is required.
But,
That is for sure. I will make sure because otherwise learning will be very difficult. So I will start from 10 o'clock. It will be usually it will be a continuous one. If I get exhausted, I will take a 1 hour sleep.
Okay.
It will be a 1 hour sleep.
Okay.
Okay, I spend half an hour watching TV.
Okay. Okay.
Just
so-
half an hour.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay.
Usually along with my food, half an hour TV.
But otherwise you are very disciplined and you have your textbooks and you go through it.
Yes. But maybe if I get bored, 5 minutes of music, it will help you.
Okay. So yeah.
Because good music, it can increase your memory.
Okay. It's very interesting because see, it's not about a dry study. I mean, it's just not. How would you? I mean, I would like to hear.
Yeah, I used to take leisure breaks because you can't sit continuously like that. Because ultimately, even if you sit, you may not be actually learning. You may be thinking something else.
What's your cycle like? What time you wake up and what is it?
I can't say because I was working.
Okay. So it was not under your control.
Yeah, so I had to, make up the time I get. You plan accordingly. Even during that time, I used to watch TV, but not like just maybe 15 minutes, half an hour. Like that I used to because we are human beings. At the end of the day, you need to have some free time. You have something to keep you awake, not just the books around you. So a little bit of music. I used to listen to music during the time I take off study and work. So I used to balance.
Why?
Okay, my typical days during daytime, I will read whenever I could. Means whatever time I could, I will read.
Like when you start, when you start.
I will start about 7:30 or 8 a.m.
7:30 you start. You are with the books on your table. I mean, I'm asking seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, you will start at 7:30.
7:30 to 8:30. Then
And do you have a plan for the day? Like,
yeah,
Okay. You have everyone
Yes,
starts a plan
definitely.
for the day, right? This is my
Yes.
target.
yeah, we are on a plan. Like we have
Yeah.
to complete anatomy in 2 weeks, so we have to complete upper limb in 2 days.
Wow.
Okay, we have to-
So that's very important, right? That's
Yes, yes.
plan and those subplans
Very
and those day division is very important,
Yes.
right? Do you get frustrated just to pause it? That are you guys usually able to complete that plan?
Not always. Sometimes before the time we will be able to complete, sometimes after, but almost we will see that.
You will see that.
Yes.
Okay.
During revision time, we can complete. Otherwise, we can't. We will frustrated, depressed, and everything will happen. I think it's normal for PG preparation.
Okay. So coming back to you're starting at 7:30.
Yeah,
then?
7:30 a.m. Then I will read as fast as I could because I have to complete plans. And then if I get too much load, I won't sleep. I will just simply then I will take lunch break for 1 hour, for a tea break. Then at night I will read till 12 only, maximum 12:30.
Okay.
Then I will sleep because I want to be more physiological. If we study till, my observation, if we study till 2 or 3, the next day we'll be very sleepy. We won't feel good.
Yeah, you should get adequate sleep.
Okay. So again, a lot of important points. Say first is that there is a plan, which is like a big plan, and you have your revision and the theory part, the study Q&A theory plan, which you have a specialty wise plan, which you have a section plan like an upper limb. Then you have a plan for the day, and you are actually moving according to that plan, which is very important. You might miss it, but overall you make sure you correct it, and you have a plan for the day, and you make sure your day is, as they said, you can't keep boiling every day, right? You should stay warm. You should not boil every day because you're going to burn out. So without burning out, with adequate sleep, with this plan you keep going, and you have your own cycle. Most people have their own cycle, and take appropriate breaks. That do you do combined study, like people in a one place?
That is also varies from individual.
Naturally.
For me, combined study I don't like.
Yeah, people never like me for combined study. I was the guy who would waste their time, apparently. Another question. Should you worry about entrance exam while you are doing your UG, like 4th year, final year, 3rd year, 1st year, or internship? Should you even think about it, or should you have that in mind, or should you even start preparing? What is your take? I think it's a very controversial question, so I think all of you guys can give me an answer for that.
It depends on the individual, but definitely during the internship time you should start thinking. Otherwise it's too late. Could start thinking, and some people started from the UG time itself, but personally I started during my internship time, but it was a random reading when I get free time. After my internship I spent one year for PG preparation.
Alina, I think.
I feel it depends on what the person targets. Like if he or she is okay with spending 1 year post the house urgency for serious preparation, and if they have the confidence that it can crack it, it's okay if they don't worry about entrance at all during the UG days. And what I feel is, if you have a good base in UG days, not the top kind of preparation, but at least focusing that in mind, if you learn, if you have a good base, it would always be easier when you're working for it during your house urgency especially, and post that, because you just need to build up more on the base that you have created. It will be a lot easier.
So when did you actually, so in your case you just were doing your residency and you go through?
I was good at academics during my UG days. I scored really well during my UG days. So, and I had been to many other quizzes and all. So in that time I had rough idea about, the topics, not just for writing exams, something like that. So I didn't prepare as such for entrance, but during my house urgency it helped me a lot in actually cracking the MCQs. Like, I have some knowledge, I have to just build up on it. So it was a lot easier because I wanted to get through that during the house urgency because I didn't want to spend 1 more year on it. Seriously.
So when did you buy your first MCQ book? Which year?
Well, 3rd year.
That answers it. No, I think it's a fair strategy. Why not is the question. It's a competitive exam.
But it was not focusing on PG.
I understand, obviously, but why
I
not?
wanted to just get an extra edge, that's it.
It's a fair point. And Manu, what do you think?
I don't think you should start preparing during UG times, but you should think about it.
Okay.
Instead of just studying for theory exam, only you can just start develop some concept, understand things what's happening. That would be a great help for PG preparation.
Yeah, that's what actually meant. Like, not for writing theory exam,
But
Base is required.
base is there, so it's good. Because anyways, whatever you learned in 3rd year is not gonna help directly for your PG,
Exam,
because
right.
you have to revise it. Because what is learned in 3rd year is left at 3rd year itself. So, you have a good base, you can recollect it. That's what I meant.
Okay, I have an interesting question. do you forget things? When you study, do you forget?
A lot.
A lot.
It's human nature to forget.
A lot.
Definitely.
Significantly lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a very important answer. You might not realize it, but when I was actually preparing, I used to get really worried because I used to forget what I learned. Like I would study a subject for 2 weeks and after a month, it's nothing. So that happens to you.
Yeah.
That happens to everyone.
Yes.
That itself is a very valuable point because I think a lot of people don't realize that. So how do you fix it?
What I did was, I bought a notebook. For a whole subject, I have a single notebook. What I did was, when I read something, if I think I will forget, I will definitely forget what it is. I wrote that point only,
Okay.
or that topic. What I think I will forget. Then I did like that. Then during revision time, I quickly go through that points. No.
So I think as Alina rightly said, right, it's a human nature to forget, and how you tackle it is a very big key component of it. Unfortunately, many students who prepare for that don't realize that point. Like everyone forgets. I'm talking about the rank 1, 2 and 3, they forget. So we can all forget things, which is normal. The trick is that how do you actually recover that, or how do you actually overtake it? So now my next question is, I think again all of you guys mentioned stay positive. Why, and did you have any, how did you do that? I mean, you can just say stay positive, but when you wake up in the morning and you have all these books to study and exams coming up and you have a lot of confusion about what's going to happen in the future and everything, right? So in a single sentence you mentioned you stay positive, but how to execute that?
Okay. Do your best. It will help you a lot in decreasing the stress. That was my key point to say.
Do your best.
Yes. Then always think positive that anyway I'm doing my best, so I will get the best only. So that was the way I used to think, and also try to avoid those people who are always negative.
Okay.
That's very important. And at the same time, you can talk with your friends who give you that positive energy. Sitting alone always won't work. Talk with your parents, your good friends at the same time.
Okay. That's great actually. You have something to add?
Yeah. Don't think too much about the result, future and during preparation time.
Okay.
What you can do is study the maximum you can, do your duty, and the result will come. And for some relief, you can chat with your friends, spend some time with them. And another thing is, don't get advice from all the people. Get advice from 1 or 2 people you believe. That's enough. If you get advice from all the people, you will get confused.
Great. I think this should be written and framed. So I'm gonna reiterate what you're saying. See, first is do your best. Alini, you have something to add?
Yes, like, see, this is a very depressing phase because you have to keep up expectation of yourself, of the people around you. People around you are watching like what you're going to do, what rank you're going to get, and you have all these worries, what next? But believe that you have come this far, like you've got an MBBS degree, your past 5 years, you're able to do that. So definitely this is not far away. Because success is actually 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. If you're given that hard work, you just keep saying, like, it's very difficult to stay positive, but keep saying to yourself that you can do it. And definitely people around you who are supportive, if they're there, your parents, your friends, your teachers, definitely will help you a lot. So you have done this far, it's no way that you can't go further. So nothing is stopping you actually.
Okay. So these are the points, right? So first is do your best. It's more of a, if you are doing a good thing, if you are studying well, there is no need to be sad about it, right? Do your best, first point. Second is having that belief that I will get it. So you have only 2 options. I'm just reiterating what these guys have said. Second is that I will get it. So you can either think I might not get it or I will get it. Thinking I will not get it anyway is not going to work out. I mean, what's the point? So why not we think I will get it? Third is avoid negative energy and negative people. Again, very important. There will be always, unfortunately we are humans and there will be people who will be having a negative energy, and you always talk about the problems and the change of patterns, they will change that, they will change about those kind of people. maintain that positive energy, be with friends, be with people who are positive, with your family, talk to your family, friends. Don't think too much, very important. I mean, it's no brainer, right? You study well and go and answer. Don't think too much, because that's not going to help. Thinking too much is not going to help. Next is, stop taking advice from many people. Go with some people you trust. You don't need 100 advice. Like a dish can be made in 100 ways, but you need it 1 or 2 ways. And finally, what Alina said, right? You have come this far. Like you did this much, and you're talking about in 1 year, which could change your career. Then why don't you go for it and do it? You can either. It's not like it's an absolute. There is no. Like at least 20,000 people actually score a rank and get into the PGC. So you have come this far. So then why don't we focus in this 1 year and crack it as well? Exceptionally great. My next question is this. So I will go to the specific the exam per se. So do you think we need to study separately for the image-based questions, or it just has to be part of?
No. I don't think we have to study separately for. If you know concept, if you know how things are happening, you can definitely answer any image-based question.
That's it.
Then going through some of the image-based exams that are available online might help.
That will help.
And especially in subjects like radiology and all, when you're learning, instead of just mugging up those, the classical science, if you just go through it, because so many questions are coming from radiology, in that aspect, you can help it. And basically, since you're learning little theory too along with MCQ, in that way, when you go through the pages of text, some images will be imprinted on that. So in that way also it helps.
They will ask all the simple image-based question. So
that's fine.
Yeah. Simple
Too
questions.
difficult, you're not. I mean, not just you. Nobody's gonna answer.
Yeah.
Too difficult.
I think along with the theory, we have to go through the image-based.
Yeah, like when you're going through the theory, you go across some images, like you feel that this is important. You get a hunch, right, when you're preparing in that way. Then, like, you don't have to like spend like months or something like that. But then you go through some exams, you get to know some patterns. Like that, you can.
Next question is that did you study subject-wise, or did you take like one subject, start studying, or like just take a question bank and start studying like in a day? What happens? What is your typical day? What do you study in a day?
It was subject-wise.
So you take like anesthesia and study that?
Yes.
For how long?
Like this, a timetable, Paka timetable.
You had a timetable?
Yes, it should be there.
And it's a subject-based timetable?
Yeah, it is a subject-based timetable. In the institute itself, along with the teaching.
You synced with that?
Yes, along with that, I created my timetable. Time-bound, I will be completing my subject, no extra time. If I couldn't cover it, I will leave that part. So within the time limit, I will be completing each subject and also will be doing the exams, MCQs along with it.
Alina?
Like, I actually am a person who gets bored like reading a single subject alone. So I used to mix up. Actually, I feel it's like based on individual preference. So you mix up and learn, but you should have, if you're mixing up and learn, you should have a rough idea about like how long you want to spend. Like, especially if you could go with some kind of timetable, whether it be provided by the coaching institute or you come up with one of your own, it's good, so that you can ensure that at least you've covered almost all the topics, like important points of all the subjects. You don't miss out the topics.
I started with subject-wise. Like at the initial phase, I will give just some 2 to 3 weeks for big subjects like surgery, medicine. Then 2 weeks for small subjects like anatomy, physiology, and for short subjects 1 week and all. We'll quickly go through all the topics during that time. For during that time, I read only that subject.
And you are talking about only weeks, right? That's a very important point, right? A week for short subjects.
Yeah.
3-4 weeks for large subjects.
Yeah, short means for skin, you have to give 1 week.
1 week.
Radiology 1 week, like that. For surgery medicine, some 2 to 3 weeks may be needed.
Let's get into big details in those subjects, right? I think my feeling, and most of us know, short subjects are the key players. You can't ignore them, but what is the strategy for short subjects?
All the subjects should be given.
All the subjects should be given. So let's ask that question. You are saying all the subjects should be given importance. Do you agree?
Almost equal importance.
Almost equal importance.
I definitely agree.
So you can't ignore anything.
You can't
you
ignore.
can't.
You can't ignore anything.
Because even though they give like these many questions will be from one subject, they may not stick to it because they're conducting different sessions, many exams
Right,
are there.
right.
So you can't expect them to stick on to that.
That.
So you have to know.
You can easily score from short subject because only
So,
little much to study.
It's more defined.
Yeah.
So it's like if you have 1 month to study, you start with short subjects and long subjects.
No.
No.
So the answer is you have to know everything. I mean, whatever is relevant in all subjects. You can't divide and say, hey, this is important, this is least important.
I think topics should be given much more.
Topics should be important in that.
Topics should be given.
Yeah,
Niche
from each
one.
subject.
Like even in short subjects, some topics are really like you don't need to really know about it, but some topics are really good. So you know, like when you go through the questions, you get to know an idea.
So in short subjects, let's say derm, radio, psychiatry, etc. I think you basically go for the guides and notes rather than the textbooks, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there is no confusion there. And the preparation strategy is also equal time, whatever is standard, you study standard topics. Right? And how about PSM or the community medicine? How much time did you guys devote for each study?
PSM, the problems, certain topics in the PSM is more important. They definitely questions will be coming from certain topics repeatedly, and those will be easily scored.
Okay.
Time it varies, 2 to 3 weeks you have to give for PSM because it's a big subject.
And how about medicine? Again, it can be asked because you can keep studying for.
Yeah, from medicine, first you have to get some basics from physiology and pathology.
Right.
Then medicine is easy. If
You
you
have that.
If you have that basic
Basics.
subject knowledge, especially physiology and pathology, you can build almost everything. Like not completely,
right,
but
right.
you can score in a reasonable manner.
Right. Medicine is physiology all wrong. After all. So you're saying if you're starting a study strategy, you would rather start with physio and probably anatomy. So basically the base structures, it's better to cover initially. That brings to me, my question is anatomy. Most guys would have forgot anatomy. Like, yeah, it's really boring to go back. Even same with the biochem, right? When I was preparing,
Yeah, it's
I
very
really
volatile.
hated to go back and prepare.
But biochem we can score easily,
Easily.
because it's very direct
So
question.
you have to go back and learn all the
Yes,
sections again.
definitely,
And all the
definitely.
transcription.
It depends on your memory capacity, whether you retain it or not.
Oh.
You have to just learn it and you have to retain it, then it's okay. If
You're
you,
talking about first year.
no. Come on. First year is not good. No, first
So
year
you
is
don't
not
forget,
good.
yeah, that's great. Yeah. So you're saying, so see anatomy, see physiology you agree it's more fun to learn? Right?
Yes,
Which
because
is the most
it's based on
boring
some
two
basics.
subjects?
physiology is the most volatile subject.
Wow. Why
Boring.
so?
Not boring.
I don't think boring.
Not boring.
I don't think it's that volatile because there is some concepts are there.
You can-
So you can build upon it. So like anatomy, like you have to study. This is named this.
Yeah, right.
This is named that.
Oh.
So you don't have a reasoning behind it. Though there are subjects, topics in physiology which are purely like that, but basically it is based on conceptual. Like they give an explanation for that. If you have that explanation, you can somewhat retain, though not completely.
Okay, I'll come to that question. What is the most boring? Okay.
Pharmac.
Pharmac. Hopefully your teachers are not hear this, but pharmac is boring to study.
Yeah,
What do you
I-
do with anatomy and biochem?
Biochem is fine. Anatomy,
Anatomy is okay.
pharmac.
Pharmac is stuff for you. Why would you say? Let's take pharmac now, right? So, why was it boring and
Maybe for me that
That's a
pharmac,
personality.
that's not my favorite subject. Maybe because of that I don't know about others.
what should the strategy for pharmac according to you guys?
Pharmac
What are
start
the
with
textbooks?
physiology. You have to know first physiology.
Okay.
Then if you know how these drugs are working, where it is working, how it is, then only you can learn about the mechanism of action and all. So you have to know every pathway, at least basic idea about every basic pathways.
So can I say this? So because see, we are touching certain points, but the central thing is that concepts, the basics that matters, that make things easy, and a lot of concepts and basics are based on physiology.
Yeah.
So probably physiology is something you can start with, and anatomy also.
Yes.
Basically, these two things are thorough.
Yeah.
Then you can incrementally learn the rest of the subjects. And as you mentioned, it's not a
it's not like one single small question bank, right? So you need to know the concepts to really work out. And very interesting question. All of you guys are from Kerala, right?
Yeah.
So what is special about Kerala, and why because if you look at the top rankers in most of the exams, even in this exam, a significant percentage of students are actually from Kerala. So there should be something about it, right? So, and it is, I mean, even I am from Kerala, so I did my UG in Kerala. So I have a take on why students from that part of the country, this part of the country does it really well. So do you have any thoughts on that?
Will be the quality of medical education.
Education in general?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a high level way to put it because I thought and interacted with a lot of people in and outside while building daily notes. And even when creating this platform for our students, this was a very interesting thought. What is happening different in Kerala? I think even the 4th rank, Athira is also from Kerala, right? So rank 1, 2, 3, 4 from Kerala, a lot of top rankers. So one is that I think our teachers focus on the conceptual understanding a lot rather than giving you something which is like a set of classes and making you just sit for the exam. Right? They actually make you understand if it is physiology. You always have a couple of good teachers who make sure that this is it, this is done. Our clinics are also good, right? So it is a point that the focus is on the things which is actually should be focused. And I so put in one way from what I learned from interacting with all of you guys and the teachers there is that just that the conceptual understanding is there, the clinical reasoning and the skills, it's all there. So that brings back to the point, right? Your focus in your UG is not about MCQ directly, but indirectly having that in mind and having the concepts clear. So this is something which we have made sure when we are building this platform, this Marrow platform, that we focus in these concepts and bring out those questions in such a way that it's not just about mugging up the MCQs, but actually learning those concepts in video. I think those are the major questions, but you guys, what specialty you want to take? Medicine. You love medicine. You, of course, you love money or?
Well, radio diagnosis has another part rather than just making money.
All right. Okay.
Actually, it's involved in every branch of medical field. It has become a part and parcel of diagnosis as well as treatment due to recent developments.
She's already a radiologist. She's speaking like
I'm convinced.
convinced. And Manu?
General medicine.
Medicine. So 2 medicine fans, radio, right? And any idea which college you're going to take it? Trivandrum Medical College. Calicut Medical. So again being Kerala. That's great. So I think that's all from our side. It's been great having you here. Thanks a lot. Thanks for helping us and thanks for helping your juniors and colleagues. Really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.